Good afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Australia. It's a day to have a look at theories about the Big Bang. What does it mean? Is it a fixed theory? Is it proven? No, it is not. It's speculative. And therefore, so are all the maths that they create, so they can illustrate a speculative idea. What is the Big Bang? Are there many Big Bangs? Well, let's look at this in a bit of poetry I've put together to show there are probably many Big Bangs on lots of different time-space paradigms within the whole of the cosmos. So bear with me and see if we can do this. If you understand how consummately speculative the Big Bang theory is, and how they then create speculative math to fit the theory, we can begin to perceive a constant orthodoxy always rules thinking for quite some time and is relative to the theory at the time. According to orthodox science theory, before the Big Bang there was no gravity. So with Newton's laws to explain trajectory of energy, how can coalescence occur? How can it be if it cannot come to be because nothing is making it be? An explosion in a vacuum of energy, time, space and gravity would do what exactly? It would spread out omnidirectionally and dissipate for an eternity. How can any matter form? What could cause it to slow down in a constant if at the time there are no laws made by humans to rule over space, form and time? If we perceive there is only one law of negative or positive, or the second law, the law of neutrality, it either does nothing, or it does not, depending and in proportion to the case, which all things can be estimated from. Philosophically speaking, that is. We also have flies in Australia all the time with us. It's part of living here. We have our pet flies each day. We have a fly chooses to stay on our face. It's what its living here is like. If we understand that energy coalesced, how could it coalesce if there was nothing to influence the trajectory of the direction of the explosion from the Big Bang? Therefore, one must speculate with what we have and what we know that can be observed. When did Newton's law apply exactly? And what could cause it to apply? To answer that, we must speculate for an example. The cosmos being one whole as within many time-space paradigms. The cosmos always has been and always will be. But within the parsecs, that intermediate time and space between galaxy clusters are energies and gravitational influences that are interactive waves proportionate to the mass of each occasion. If we were to find a perfectly still pond of water and we threw a rock in then waited, we then threw in another and waited, and we could throw in rocks of various sizes and at different intervals, it may give some indication of the patterns within the rhythm of space, time-space, if it were a flat plane. If we then used our imagination and changed the image to a sort of gaseous jelly and imagined little explosions happened at various times with various energy at various spaces within the matrix of this gaseous jelly, we may begin to grasp a model of the cosmos in our minds. We begin to see time and space in our minds. Is better play upon which words are wrote to explain functions. How the logic is grasped depends upon prior learning. We either live in a sort of fog or need a guide who may be as blind as a bat, but we could not know, or we learn from practical experience after being grounded in practical logic. If we perceive what is suggested above, we can then speculate from a given. The black hole that has consumed all within its sphere of influence then becomes unstable and exploded. The explosions in the jelly and the omnidirectional ripple effect, etc. How it may explode in one theory is called crystalline explosion within a black hole or a plasma. But there may be a couple of theories now in regards to how matter reforms out of the explosion of black holes. But there has to be back waves or something else for coalescence to begin in the first place. Therefore, the chances are the universe is a sequence, a multitude of time-space paradigms, black holes that consume all within its sphere, and then it becomes unstable because there's nothing left to consume and it explodes again to repeat itself all over the universe time and time again. And the big massive space ripple effect is all through the universe. Variations depending on the size, and the shapes of galaxy clusters all depend on how the energy was in that time and particular space, with all the other jet energies influencing it. And the energies are omnidirectional and all pressures on all sides on things. But the destruction and reforming of matter is a constant factor. That is, matter is consumed and then reformed in the subatomic as well as a universal constant, and explains all history. Or when the black hole explodes, there are already gravity waves within the universe, and it is the variable differences in ratios that shapes galaxy clusters and various parsecs. That is to say, there wasn't one Big Bang, but there are many Big Bangs, and they happen over and over and time and again and at different times, because the universe or the cosmos is so big. We only live in a small portion, and we can see one tiny fraction of the whole thing. We live in one tiny fraction of it. We cannot possibly see out into the entities of it. It's impossible. And it doesn't. The theory that it's constantly expanding is made to look odd when they say it expands trillions of miles in a second. Then it's no longer travelling at the speed of light, is it? It's travelling far faster than speed of light. What caused it to slow down? What caused it then to become a constant? If it slowed down at one time, how come it didn't continue to slow down? These questions they can't answer. Went from a Big Bang, trillions of miles, and therefore, if that's the case, it went for trillions of miles, therefore they don't know the age of the universe. They do not know the age of the universe, because if it went in 1 second trillions of miles like they say, how long did it take to go from that speed down to the speed of light? How long did it take to slow down to the speed of light? That would have been an eternity in itself, in their theory. So it stands to reason that we are the result of many black holes sucking in all the energy and matter within its sphere, and then it becomes unstable and it explodes and matter reforms. That is the universe. Constant patterns of destruction and reformation of matter in perpetuity. There is no time but the time that humans create in their mind. Thank you. This is E.T. explaining time and space.